Hey, all you lip rippers out there, this is Mo back in the shop. Today we're going to take a little trip out to Lake Tawakoni after a major cold front, and we're going to see if we can put the hurting on some of them. So y'all stay tuned. We're going to go over baits and map locations and get a little video of me sore lipping a few of them. So y'all stay tuned.
There's one. Look at there. Finally caught one. Old jig. Old black and blue jig. Knew there had to be one in here some freaking place. But man, what a painful experience so far. Look at that monster. He ate it though. All right. Thank you. $10:24 before I finally got one on the hook. That makes for a long morning right there, boys. A very long morning. All right, well, I fished to this tree like I said I would, and stuck that little bitty rat. Let's go find some willows or move to a whole other cove and fish some docks, one of the two. But this ain't working. There's a bite. There's a fish. There we go. Much better. Much better. Much better. He's right there on the stairs. Swing him in.
All right, so Lake Tawakoni is very well known as a jig or creature bait type of lake. Beavers, brush hogs, lizards even, especially if they're spawning. And I went out there today trying to force feed them a jig. And the jigs I'm using is the Missile Baits Ike flip out jig and the mini flip jig, along with some peas and carrots from Santone Jigs. I'm not sponsored by any of these folks. This is not a paid advertisement. I'm just showing you the brands of jigs that I'm using, along with the trailer. Berkeley Power Bait trailer here that is called the Champ Crawl. This Champ Crawl comes in a 6-pack, and when you rig it up, these little pinchers, they actually float up, so the jig looks like it's the crawdad looks like it's in a defensive position, and it'll float up a little bit. And to me, that's just more natural looking in regards to a fish wanting to eat it. So plus it has that Berkeley Power Bait smell on it, scent, whatever you wish to call it. I just love that. And then I tagged also just a normal chigger crawl on the back of peas and carrots here. And again, you can see nice and compact profile. Not sponsored by any of these folks. Want to say that one more time. But at the end of the day, that's how I rig these up. And as you can see, I really try to keep my jig presentation pretty small. I focused on black colors mainly. This is black and chartreuse with a little bit of brown. Some folks call this Texas crawl. Some folks call this Missouri crawl. But black and chartreuse, I call it moose poop. Just for a simple fact, just to give it something a little bit distinct different. Again, peas and carrots from Santone, and then the black and blue bruiser jig, whatever black and blue you're using with the black and blue trailer there. And again, just a little bit different trailer with that champ crawl. And black and blue always holds true. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. I go on to the rod that I was using. And I keep this really simple too, as I've got several of these in the boat. And I keep them all rigged up the same way with a rod sock. And that's how I color coordinate my rock socks. I go with the Daiwa Tatula 8:1 gear ratio with a Denali N3 series rod, 7.4 medium heavy, and it's the worm and jig rod, model number N3743WJ, and it's got the nice wind grips. It's got 13 eyes on it, I believe, which I love. I don't like a rod, but it's only got like 8 or 9 eyes. I want 13, 14 eyes. That way, when I go to pop that hook and drive the steel home, I've got enough sensitivity on that line consistently to give these a very sensitive feeling. And again, just get the horsepower to get them out of there. I just don't like gaps in between my eyes putting stress on the line. I want consistency. And as you can see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 14 eyes on this rod basically. And man, it's just got a lot of backbone to it, and it's extra light, it's extra sensitive. So that's the rod setup. That's the jig setup. I did throw some War Eagle spinner baits around, chartreuse and white, chartreuse. I changed the blades on them, changed the color of blades, the size of the blade, and couldn't get anything moving on a spinner bait. There was, you'll see in the video, there's no birds, there's no life. It's like the Dead Sea out there after this major cold front, and couldn't even find any bait balls out there, so it was kind of disappointing there. So we only got to stay on the lake for a couple of hours, but at the end of the day, it was still fun, and the black and blue jig, hard to beat. So stay tuned. I'll show you on the map the exact locations that I was fishing. Okay, so today we launched here at the state park, as you can see on Google Earth, and right here as well on the Navionics chip. It's right there, state park. And what we did is we just ran straight across the lake up here into Rabbit. We went into this first cove, looked at this road bed, and I looked over it a couple of different times, didn't see any bait. There was another boat over here. It looked like they were crappie fishing or something else, but they were out there fishing. That's all that matters. And so I came back here into the back, hoping to see some birds, some bait fish. I saw neither. And with the lake being 2 foot low, most of the shrubs that were in this cove or in this finger of Rabbit simply only had about 1 foot of water under them, and they weren't in it. So I jetted out of here and ran further up into Rabbit. Started on these points right here. The water looked good. The water was upper 60s degrees, and still nothing until I got behind these marinas, and that's where I started sword lipping a few of them. And then once I got done there, I ran all the way over here to Ash Cove. You can see Navionics calls it Sand Branch, but this is Ash Cove. And there's a bunch of flooded willows here on this point, and some grass and vegetation right through there. And I fished these docks all the way to the back. Every one of these docks I fished. And this dock right here has some nice brush under it. It's basically sunken, but you can still see it's a good structure. It's got some tires and a couple of lay down trees right there. And there is a boat ramp, but I wouldn't use it. Long story short. And then I flipped a spinnerbait around in here again, different colors, different sizes. But if they didn't eat the jig, they wasn't going to eat. And by the time I finished my day in here, I had to get home because I had a birthday party to go to. So that's the only 3 areas, if you will, Rabbit Cove and the north side of Ash Cove that we fished today on Tawakoni. Hopefully this information helps you out. Good luck. Y'all be safe out there. Tight lines. Rip some lip. We'll see y'all.